So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do a save feature. This is on the Digital Doodle app that we've already created. So I'm just going to add a button, another button up here at the end in my arrangement. I'm just going to call it my save button. And I'm going to fill this at 10%. I'm going to shrink my other buttons down as well, just so we can see that save button a little bit more clearly. So I'm going to come over to my blocks now, and we can already see I have my app set up, but I'm going to come to a blank portion of this. And the first thing I'm going to do is come to my variables, and I'm going to initialize a variable. And I want that variable to be called save. I'm going to set the number behind that as 0. What I'm going to use this variable for is that when my save button is clicked, I'm going to add 1 to it. So this will mean that I'll never save over my own picture because I'm always adding 1 to the saved picture's name. So I'm going to come over to my variables again. I'm going to set my global save variable to my global to my variable. So I'm going to get that variable here. And I'm going to add the number 1 to it. I'm just going to duplicate this block and add number 1 to it. So we can see now is every time I click the save button, I'm adding 1 to this variable. Well, what I need to do is I need to create a placeholder function. So I need to find my evaluate and ignore block. So evaluate but ignore a result. So I'm starting my procedure that I'm going to use later on. And that's why I'm grabbing that block. So I'm going to come to my canvas, and I'm going to find my canvas as call canvas1 to save my file name. So I'm saving whatever's on canvas 1. Well, what do I want to save it as? Well, I'm going to come up and find my join block. And I'm going to add another list item or string to that. And I'm going to come to my text box. Well, I'm going to call it in my camera roll just drawing. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get that global save variable, so that'll put a number behind it, 1, 2, 3, 4, so I don't copy over myself. I'm going to duplicate this box, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG. So I'm going to add it as a .jpg. So what's going to happen is I'm going to join it with the word drawing, the variable, and .jpg, whatever's on that canvas. Well, now I need to call that canvas to save it. I've set up the procedure, but I need to call it. So what I need is a notifier. So I'm going to bring in this little notifier as a hidden component. And I'm going to use my notifier, and I'm going to call my notifier to show the notice. So it's going to bring a little box on screen, and what do I want it to do? I want it to call this function that I just wrote but ignored. So I had the computer run this, I ignored it, but now I'm coming back to that function. I'm going to call it, notify it, and it now be saved in the camera roll. So I can come back to my emulator now. I can click on save. We can see that it's been recorded on the SIM card as drawing 1. I can click save again. Whatever's on the is recorded as drawing 2 JPEG. So what we've done now is this is just an easy way to save the picture in your camera roll on what you drew.